Right now, there's a 1-ton robot the size of a car driving around on Mars. Getting it there was the hard part. To land it, engineers had 7 minutes to go from 20,000 kilometers an hour, New York to LA in 12 minutes, down to a gentle stop, and they had to do it without touching a single control. Here's why they couldn't help. Mars is so far away that a radio signal takes about 11 minutes to arrive. So the instant Earth heard, "We're entering the atmosphere," the rover had already been sitting on the surface, alive or dead, for 4 whole minutes. Nobody could fly it. It had to fly itself. On Earth, you just use a parachute, but Mars has almost no air, about 1% of what we breathe. That thin air is a trap. There's enough of it to set you on fire from friction, but nowhere near enough to slow you down. So how do you stop? First, the fire. The capsule slams into that thin air belly first behind a heat shield. Friction alone heats the front to about 1300 degrees, hot enough to melt steel. The shield takes the beating, so the rover behind it stays cool. That's minute one. Next, a parachute, but not a normal one. It fires open while the capsule is still moving faster than sound, a jolt hard enough to rip an ordinary chute to shreds. It's a special supersonic design, and even fully open, in this thin air, it only slows things to a few hundred kilometers an hour. Still way too fast to land. The parachute is just the warm-up. The heat shield drops away, and for the first time the rover can see. Radar beams reach down and read the ground rushing up, how high, how fast, the numbers it needs to make the final decision entirely on its own. Then it does something that looks insane. It cuts loose from the parachute and freefalls, and a rocket-powered jetpack bolted on top fires 8 engines pointing down, catching the fall and slowing it to walking speed. But now there's a new problem. Those rockets are blasting the ground. Land on them, and they'd blast a crater and kick up so much dust and rock it could tip the whole thing over. So the jetpack doesn't land at all. It stops and hovers, 20 meters up, holding steady in the storm it's making. Then it lowers the rover beneath it on 3 nylon cables, gently reeling a car-sized robot down through the air like a crane on a construction site. Engineers call it exactly that, the sky crane maneuver. Wheels unfold on the way down, so the rover arrives already standing on its own feet. The wheels touch Mars. The rover feels its own weight settle, and in that instant, it cuts the cables. The jetpack, its whole job done, throttles up one last time and flies off to crash land far away, so it can't fall on the rover it just delivered. 7 minutes, and it's over. This is the work of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and they've now stuck this landing twice. Curiosity, then perseverance. Built by engineers who mostly chose this job the day they watched a landing just like this one. Every one of those breathtaking photos from the surface of Mars, everyone, only exists because this exact sequence worked on its own the very first time it was ever tried for real. So that's how you land a car on another planet. It hits the air at 20,000 kilometers an hour, and 7 minutes later, it's parked gently on its wheels. And every second of it ran on its own, because a signal from home arrives 11 minutes too late to help. We didn't fly it down. We taught it how and let go. Want the whole breakdown of the frontier? If that made it click, hit subscribe. A fresh teardown drops every single day.